Hey, how you going? So what I'm going to challenge today, and this could be a do, could be a don't, I don't know, I haven't done this before, but whether it's a fail or if it's success, I'll upload it anyway because it's going to be useful information for someone else to know before they do it, if it's worth doing or not. So what I've got is two lines connected to my automatic transmission line. One of these is, this one here is connected to the radiator. So I'll tilt the camera to show you a better view of everything I'm doing here. Okay, so what you're looking at here is I've got two 10 litre containers. They are both 10 litre water containers, but I went to my local hardware store and they sell the containers for $5 each empty, and you can buy them full of water, exactly the same containers full of water, $4 each at the grocery store. And when I saw that, I was like, well, I already got containers like that at home, so I used one. Cleaned out the one on the right, obviously, so I could put 10 litres of transmission fluid into it. I've got two lines connected up to the van, and one's going straight to a transmission line, the other one's going to the radiator. So I don't know which way the fluid's going to flow yet, so I need to crank the van over, find out which one's going to start pumping fluid out, what hose to go into what bottle. And I haven't even started the van yet to find out, after all the changes I've made to it with the front, with the valve airflow sensor and so forth. I've swapped over from a 94 model to mine, that my van even starts still. So I'm going to crank it over just a second, and that should be enough for me to find out which line's got fluid coming out of, which bottles to put what hose into, and yeah, if it works, it works. It'd be fantastic. The container on the right, you see they're full of fluid, has enough fluid in there to do a pan change 2.5 times. I think it only takes about 4 litres. What's the idea here is if I can draw in nice clean transmission fluid through one line and pump out crap transmission fluid from the other line until I see nice fluid coming back out, I want to do a change that way. Once that's completed, then I'll check the oil level on the transmission to make sure that the oil level is correct. I'll draw some out if I have to, or put some extra in if I have to, whatever. This is just an experiment right now. If it pays off, I'm going to be doing this pretty much every time I do a transmission fluid change and a filter change. So I'll get into it and we'll see what happens. Okay. Well, that was lucky that there's the bad and it's brown. That's terrible. And that's come from the line that goes to the radiator. Yeah, the good one is the one that's on the ground, so that's the one that I'll know in the future which is in and out. Alright, well now I'll start it and let it run and get all this horrible... This is what I mean, because when you do a pan drop you don't get everything that's in the torque converter. So you might take out a whole bunch of bad oil and put good oil back in, but you've still got half a transmission full of bad oil that you want to get rid of. So that's what this process is all about. Can see there, it's pumping out fine, so it's not a fail, not yet anyway. it's pumping the bad oil out, it's pumping the bad fluid out, but it's not sucking any back in. So that means that the pump in the transmission only pumps out and uses the force feed to force the fluid back through the other way. So I'm going to put a pump in line now with this, so I can pump transmission fluid from there into the gearbox, and yeah, and we'll get it out and see if we can get this nice and pink. So oil flows in from the pump one way, doesn't get pulled in the other way. I kind of expected that anyway. I was hoping for a siphoning effect, that the force of one oil going out, the other line will try and pull oil in, but that didn't work out. So I'll now pump the oil and start the car at the same time. And what I want is, I'm going to get 10 litres into one container, empty the other container, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, well, I've got the pump connected. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the pump on, start the van, and I'm just going to let it run until I've got the container full of 10 litres full of fluid, and then turn the van off, and we'll have a look at the lines to see if it's still dark brown or if it's nice and pink. Well, that's definitely coming through more pink now. Still got brown on it though. It's not as bright pink as what I'm pumping in, but it's definitely changing colour. That's a nice pink there now. That's working out well. Okay, that's basically all I can do. Gonna need a little bit more, but that's if I can get a nice clean cloth to show you the colour on that. Look at that. Five more litres, well not even that, 3 or 4 more litres would have gotten a nice bright pink. But the van's going to be much happier now. I've got rid of all that yuck, and that's a complete through the torque converter, everything. Oh, the exercise that I'm glad I did. I'll check the oil level in a minute. Fluid level in a minute. I just got to pack all this up, disconnect the lines, and yeah, then we'll get to the fluid level. Alright, so I've got the dipstick out of the transmission, and you can see it's the full mark for cold, that's the full mark for hot. So I'm going to go for the cold mark. I'll bring it straight over and we'll have a look. And you can see that there, but I'm just a little bit under, so I need to add some. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to check it again when it's hot. Let's see if it's up to this mark here, because right now the van was running, and even though that's cold, it's still from a car from a motor just it's still from a gearbox that was only just running. So I want to check that again when it's hot. So it's just a matter of topping up a little bit if I need to, or if it's spot on, I don't know, but that's all it is. So I'm really happy with that outcome. I'll show you the colour of the oil that came out. Just want to show you here, this is what came out of my transmission. Now keep in mind, this is also mixed with new, and it's still yucky brown. This is the colour of what's in my transmission now. And this is new. So even though it's not as pink as I'd like, it's not new looking pink, it's still much better than what was in the transmission. So very happy I did this, and I'm gonna have to set myself up some sort of fluid station so I can do it better next time, and use 15 litres of transmission next time, not 10. I would have had a much better turnout, and I wouldn't have had to muck around with lines as well. I had to do some joins in the lines and so forth because I wasn't really prepared for doing this today. I just decided to do it today, and I worked with what I had. But definitely worth it. And now I could probably go with doing a filter change and whatnot as well. I'm not going to, because I only did the filter probably about 6 months ago, and changed what was in the pan as well, obviously. Because you can't empty the torque converter, you can't clean out the rubbish. So you only ever do half a change. So what I did today was better than just dropping the sump and doing a filter change and putting 4 litres of fluid back in, and then calling it a day, because that 4 litres of fluid mixes with the 5 litres of fluid that's in the torque converter, and you've only done half a change. So I'm looking forward to going for a drive when I finally get my van back on the road. Okay, while I'm at it, I tagged which line was it. So that line there is the fluid going in, and that line there is the fluid going out. Somebody in the group asked that question once before, which line is in and which line is out, so I thought I'd grab that bit of info at the same time. And I've got a bit of bad news as well. We'll see how it goes. It looks like I've got this new radiator I pulled out of the other van has a leak, and I'm hoping that it's just a tap, but I'm thinking that it's probably the bottom of the radiator seal, remembering that this new radiator did come out of a van that was overheated and with a blown head gasket, so, and cracked head as well. So I don't know why the radiator would have got damaged, but anyway, so much was wrong with that van. It became a good parts van. Okay, well, we all learnt a little something today. That's the first time I did that, so it's all learning for me, hands-on day. I like to share my experiences as well. I like to do things for the first time and record them for the first time, so all the mistakes I make and so forth, they're the mistakes that other people are going to make as well. And it's not something that I've done first and then I'll show you after I've already done it, and it's like, this is how you do it, and it looks like I'm a professional at it, and because I've been there and done that before, I like to get the first time I've done it sort of capture. So mistakes I make, I can tell you about it to help you not to make the same mistakes. Today's progress was really good. And so I learned I need more fluid next time. I need to have my pump connected next time, have it running first next time, and not have the transmission fluid already coming out and then thinking I need to catch up with what's already come out. So it's a learning curve for you, well worth it. My transmission fluid is looking a lot healthier now. Also I learnt today, don't push on a tub that's full of water, got drowned in it. That's why I took this off earlier. I was soaked. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. So I'll put the clip together tonight and upload it, and so you've obviously watched it already. I'm going to get into the air conditioning right now and do that, so I'm going to record that as well. All I'm doing is putting Freon into my system. I've already made 2 live videos of doing that process, but my internet today has been in and out, connected for a minute, disconnected for 5 minutes, so I can't do live today. I would have liked to have. So I'm going to record that footage, and then I'm going to have to edit it as well. I'll take out any spots of where I'm walking around doing nothing to try and make it short as possible, so I can try and get a successful upload later. Thankfully, from the computer, when you do an upload, YouTube recognises that the internet's dropped out, and it sits there waiting. When you get an internet connection again, it continues the upload after about probably 30 seconds of re-establishing a connection. Then it starts uploading again, and so I will finally get these videos up tonight. I just don't know how long that's going to take. But educational nonetheless. So stay tuned. I'm going to do a lot more yet on my van. I'm hoping that I don't have to change the radiator, like I already told you. It's a new radiator, but it was in a van that was overheating. It shouldn't have been damaged from that, but yeah, I don't know. Also, when I was putting water on the top of the motor, I spilt water around the top of the radiator, so it could just be runoff. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that's all it is. But I'm going to do an engine flush on my van. I've uploaded a video recently doing an engine flush. I'm going to do the same process to my van, but it's going to be a shorter video, because if you want to look at that video, you can go to the first one I did that shows the full process. I'm just going to show you how I go about it with this van. And we're taking the thermostat out as well, and I'll make a short video on that of removing the thermostat, because that's a very common question that people want to know, where's the thermostat? And I've never really made a video on just where's the thermostat and how to remove it, because it's a 5-minute job. So that's kind of like, you know, on my side, that's my bad. I don't think of things like that as really important, because it's so easy. So I'll cover that as well. So I'll have probably, I don't know, maybe a 3-minute video on how to remove the thermostat. After the flush, I'm going to put coolant in. I'm hoping that I'll get some liquid intelligence coolant, so I can show you the difference between the coolant that we get from the store and the liquid intelligence coolant, but that's kind of like up in the air at the moment. I don't know if I can afford it. I might just have to run down the road and get your standard coolant, put that in for now, and do the liquid intelligence coolant later, because I really want to put liquid intelligence coolant in my van for the benefits of it, it doesn't boil. So I'm going to get into the aircon now. So yeah, you should be able to catch that clip soon after I've uploaded this one, and I'll catch you around. Cheers. Just one more thing. This is the reason why I decided to do a flush. When I took my old radiator out, and I put this bucket was already had stuff in it, so that didn't come out of the transmission. But when I saw the fluid come out brown like that, I thought to myself, hell no, I'm not going to leave it like that. So that's why I decided to spend $80 on fluid and do an oil flush and do a fluid flush. And it turned out to be a good process. And later on I will get a a fluid radiator to bolt in the front there. There's plenty of room for that, to keep that transmission fluid a little bit cooler and prevent overheating. I assume that happened from overheating at some point. I've towed vans and so forth with my van, and I guess I've pushed the transmission a little bit too hard. So give it a bit of love. $80 is not a lot of money to make sure that the transmission is running right.